Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, perfect. Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. This is the show we do on Wednesday.
Whoa. Well, that
I know
about
it's
covers
amazing.
it.
Yeah. Hey, Kendra, if you're still here. Hey, Princess. Hey,
Hey,
David.
David.
Hey, I think so. Hey, Saul is here. Welcome, you guys to
Fantastic.
Don't Worry Wednesday. This is a show where it's all about you guys, actually. If you have a topic that you would like us to talk about, you can feel free to post it in the chat.
What do
You
you think we
can.
would like to talk about?
We would like to talk about whatever you want us to talk about, actually. Because because it's awesome.
Mhm.
It just started as your online class teacher showed up. Ah, oof. That's all right.
Wow.
Hey, Kendra, I'm glad you're still here. It's great to see you. Yes, you can put it right in there, chat. If you have a topic for us to talk about, you can put it right there in the chat. You can send us an email, dww@bss.studio. You can put it on our website, bss.studio. Princess has the link right down there. Otherwise, you can DM myself, Static P, or Princess on Discord. And yes, that's who we are. We got Static P, Princess, and Pleb. I'm gonna change my name to Pleb.
Pleb.
Down.
Down in the
so,
bottom right.
so it's gonna be like Don't
Bottom.
Worry Wednesday with Static and Pleb.
Yeah. Static pleb. Static
Static
P.
Pleb
The
Nub.
P's for.
Yes. So, yep. If you would like to remain anonymous, the best ways to get in touch with us would be through the email, dww@bss.studio, or direct message one of us on Discord, and then let us know if you'd like to remain anonymous. We are not professional therapists or counselors or psychiatrists, psychologists, police officers, lawyers, doctors, any kind of profession like that. We just want to be your friends. We want to help in any way we can because when you're going through a challenge, a lot of times we've referred people and told people and encouraged them that they should probably seek a therapist in a lot of cases because there's a lot of times when it's appropriate. In fact, I'm currently seeing a therapist because of a whole bunch of stuff going on in my sphere, and it's been so super helpful. But one of the things that's so important, even when you're going through therapy, is to have friends. And that's one of the things my therapist told me about. She is awesome, right? She's Italian and she's from New York, and so she swears every once in a while, and she's awesome.
But that's not what makes it awesome.
It's not what makes her awesome, but she's just awesome. But anyway,
That's great.
she says, one of the first things that we talked about in one of the first sessions we had was, who are your friends? Who are the people that you can talk to? Who are people that are your support group? And we want to be that for you guys. We want to help in any way we possibly can. We want to love you. We want to encourage you. We want to, maybe we can offer some perspective because sometimes having an outside perspective can really help clarify things that are going on. And it just helps. But most of all, we want to surround you with love and we want to make sure you know that you matter, that your feelings are valid, that what you're going through is not the end of the world, that it can be figured out and it can be gotten through, and you probably are smart enough to figure this out on your own. However, sometimes it's just helpful to have some friends walking the path with you. I know that's for sure. In my case, I have a real close group, about 5 friends that I share a lot of this stuff. 5, 6, maybe 7, actually. It seems to
It's growing.
it seems to grow, you know, and that's cool. But yeah, it's just awesome. So anyway, I'm your host. I'm Joe, also known as Pleb. And Princess is our chat room hostess. She also keeps this show running smoothly. She's amazing. She catalogs all of our topics for us. And man, Princess, you just make this show so much better. I'm always a little bit nervous when I feel like you might not be here because I was like, I know we can make it, but it's not gonna be as fun. It's not gonna be as good.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's okay. And yep, so she's awesome. So give her a hand, give her a shout out on Discord, tell her she's awesome. And above me in the appropriate box is Static P, also known as
Right.
Ryan.
I am in the appropriate box.
You are in the appropriate box,
Hmm.
the one
Otherwise, I would
on top,
be.
the
Yeah,
one
I don't want to
above
be in the
me.
chat box because that would be weird.
Right.
Or is it on the other side? I don't know. It's probably on this side, right? Everything's backwards for me. Yeah, that would be the wrong box to be in, or to be in your box where it says pleb. That would also be the wrong box. Oh, it
That would
says
be the
Joe.
wrong box. It
That
says
would be the wrong
Joe,
box.
but it will
Uh-huh.
say pleb next week.
Yeah. Well, I made it. I made it to this box, so I did my part.
Yes. Good job.
I have thanks.
I'm so impressed. You know, your owls made it too.
They did. This one just wants to show her back tail apparently. Guys, straighten up over here.
That's right.
What are you doing?
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Now she's
Yeah.
now
What are you
she's like
doing?
now she's sitting on top of
Hey.
his head.
There.
Perfect. Perfect. Look at
Perfect.
that. Look at that.
All right.
Wow, Kendra. So your
Now
town has a
everybody's
craft
looking at
show. You call it the
Mhm.
Fling thing. You signed up to sell your work. Many people stopped by and said things like, I wish I could make stuff like this, or someone has been busy. But people either passed by me or looked from afar and talked about how beautiful my stuff was, but wouldn't buy anything. I understand that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, man, that's cool. Well, you're going to commit to it being cool?
Mm-hmm.
And like spend some money on it or what? Like, hey, that might be mean to say. You never know.
Yeah, well, that is true though. I know I've been to places before. Here's usually what gets me. I remember going to like an art fair, or not necessarily an art fair, just a fair in general, going by all the little booths, and there's, all these cool trinkets. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I wish I could have that. That one looks nice, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And when I walk away from it all, what I find myself holding is the object belonging to the person who reached out and spoke to me.
Mm.
Um, so if you see people looking at your stuff and they're going, wow, that looks really cool. That, you put a lot of work into that, blah, blah, blah. Just make sure that you say hi and you try to start up at least some kind of conversation. It doesn't have to be, you don't want it to be a long conversation, but
Mm-hmm.
something that makes them feel like you're friendly, and it kind of, it's more likely to make a sale.
Mm-hmm. That's actually, that's really good advice because I noticed that in the martial arts school that I was a part of, and people would be walking by. It was like it was a martial arts school in this plaza with a whole bunch of other shops and stuff right around, and so people were walking by all the time. And what was interesting was whoever the instructor was that. If they weren't teaching a class at that point in time, or if they were working the front desk or whatever, they might just go outside and just greet people as they walk by. Not really necessarily try and, sell them a membership right there or get them to come in or anything like that, but just be friendly. And what that does is that creates a little bit of rapport, and it creates a little bit of a relationship that you have now with that person. And they think of you and they think
Mm-hmm.
of your stuff and they think in a positive way
Mm-hmm.
about it. And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. Kendra, I started talking to them about my stuff or something about Christmas gifts, but they would say they're just making a walk around before they buy anything, and then they don't come
Okay.
back. Yeah,
All right.
that happens. But, hey, but you're putting good vibes out there. You're putting good, you're putting yourself out, and that's really really awesome. I'm really really proud of you
Me
for
too.
doing that because yeah, that's the beginning, and you do that enough, and eventually what's going to happen is people will start coming back and buying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It won't happen every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Another thing is, people have, I don't know, you have to play your audience. You have to cater to them. And so you think about the fair, or wherever it is, fling thing. Uh, Maybe you think about the season. What season is it? What's coming up? What holiday's coming up? And you try to make things that cater to that, because that's what people are going to be looking for, right?
Hmm.
So there's like you said, the stand next to you sold Christmas wreaths, and they made probably a pretty darn good profit off of that. Especially if they're buying them for $190 to $200 for a wreath.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a lot of money to me. But you know, people are, it's that time of year. People are looking out for Christmas stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so if you can cater to your crowd, that usually helps a little bit too. I'm not saying you didn't, you probably did, but I'm just saying things that I know from my experiences are likely to help make that sale.
Mm-hmm. Ah, and you think you'll go outside of your town next time to get more business? I do have an Etsy page and do offer
Mm,
people my card if they're interested. Absolutely. Yeah. Because sometimes, I mean, even for Jesus himself, I mean, what do
mm-hmm.
they say? A prophet is without honor within his own town, or whatever, or a prophet has honor except for in his own town. And people, like, he was from Nazareth, and the people of Nazareth thought he was crazy, and he
Yeah,
couldn't,
they tried
like,
to
he
kill him.
couldn't. Yeah, well, he couldn't even. It said like he couldn't even do miracles in that town because people didn't believe.
Yeah.
Right? Like the faith was so low. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's an amazing thing. So yeah, maybe going outside of your town and branching out, that could be where people don't
Yeah.
know who you are. That could
Mm-hmm.
be a really really good thing. So, man, I'm impressed. You know what though, Kendra? You know, we've known each other for a while. You've been on this show with us a bunch of
Yeah.
times and for a long time, and you know, you've shared some of your art with us, and I just think it's so awesome what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, this is stuff that you talked about doing a long time ago, and here you are doing it. So that's cool.
Yeah. I think I remember seeing some of your coasters. They're really, really cool looking. Like they're really cool looking.
Hmm.
Um, I remember you shared a couple of the ones that maybe in the making or even maybe finished ones. I can't remember exactly, but I remember being really impressed by it. So, um, yeah, having an Etsy page, that would be awesome.
Hmm. Hmm. David, every day whenever I notice something wrong, like looking back on my past life, I feel haunted. I sometimes think of alternate scenarios about what happened if I had acted very differently that could have altered my life. Actually, it's not every day. But man, I go through that. Ryan, have you ever done that?
When you look back on your life and you just like, uh, man, I wish I would have done that differently, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, oh yeah, like of course.
I experience that all the time
Yeah,
also.
how can we not? We're human and we have this natural desire for perfection. I think all of us do. And we don't want things to have been wrong. We don't want to be humiliated when we're humiliated. We don't want to be weak in a certain scenario. We want to be strong. We don't want to have whatever, right?
Mhm.
So I totally agree. But then I have something that combats that, and that is, you know, it's really beautiful that we're not perfect because we weren't made to be perfect in the first place. We were made to be good, right?
Mhm.
Um, it's beautiful that there is mess ups in my life or bullies in my life at times because those things I don't have to regret. I can allow them to make me stronger, right?
Mhm.
Um, Humans aren't perfect. You can go back through your life and find all these things that were wrong. But the beautiful thing about not being perfect is that we're capable of growth. If you're perfect, you can't grow because you're just already what you are, right?
Right. And you're
You
perfect.
can't, yeah. And honestly, if you were perfect, that means you didn't even have free will. Uh, be the case, right?
Well, that's actually true.
Yeah, because you couldn't be imperfect. You wouldn't have that will.
Mhm.
Um, you wouldn't have the freedom to mess up, but you also wouldn't have the freedom to grow. And so I think it's really cool. The human experience is growing, right? As a human being, you're constantly growing in areas and diminishing in others, right?
Mhm.
And so there's certain things like, oh, I haven't played the piano in so long. You go back to it and you're like, wow, I'm terrible. You know, certain things slowly decay over time. But then other things, if we keep at it or we focus on it or we allow life to work on us, sometimes bad things have to happen to us for us
Mhm.
to experience that growth. And if we allow that to happen, right? If we focus our mind on how do I make this bad thing a really good thing for me? How do I focus on, or how do I make this bad thing something that's productive
Mm-hmm.
for me. And in doing that kind of thing, I think it's just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I do have regrets, things that I wish I could have done differently, things I wish I could have understood before I had to learn my lesson to understand them,
Mm-hmm.
like wish I didn't have to go through that crap to figure out how to do that, how to
Right.
how to get better at that, like especially like being really bad with people skills and then having lots of issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden I'm learning. I wish I didn't have to do that. I wish I could know already. Right.
Right.
But part of the beauty is I can look at how uninformed, how weak, how whatever I was. And I can look at that and go, wow, I'm amazing. I have something to be proud of. It's not that I was born perfect, it's that I've made myself better. And that's something to be proud of. And so while I definitely have to relate to looking back and going, man, I wish I could have done that differently.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I have to admit that, you know what? It's okay that I didn't, because I was given the opportunity to grow beyond that,
Mm-hmm.
beyond what I just, whatever that experience was. I have the opportunity to grow beyond that because I'm a human. And I think that's awesome. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I can make mistakes.
Yes, and I'm grateful that every mistake I make isn't like the end of
Yeah. Yeah.
everything, right?
Yeah.
There are very few mistakes we can make. Now there are some that I've made mistakes and it's burned a bridge or something, and that gets pretty painful, and those are really big
Yeah.
learning experiences, because then you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is what it's like to burn a bridge." And that's pretty painful in and of itself. But man, I struggle with that too, David. Holy cow. Your examples, if someone is having a fight, you could have intervened, but you couldn't.
Mm.
I've
Yep.
I've been there before. Yep. And now that I'm a martial artist, I could intervene in many other ways. But that's okay.
Like count to 10 in a different language,
Right? Yes.
in Korean.
In Korean, uno, dos.
No, it's un, do, trois.
Oh, my bad. Wait, that's French.
Yeah.
Un, deux,
Wow.
trois.
Un, deux, trois, quatre,
Oh,
cinq,
un? Is it
six.
un? Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Un.
Un,
It's usually masculine if you're counting up like that.
oh,
Un
okay.
is feminine.
Oh,
couldn't,
so
but
un
it's
is a
usually
thing,
un.
but it's un for men. Okay. Well, there we go.
Well, un is masculine, un is feminine. So you only usually use un if you want like un glass, which is one ice cream, but because ice cream, I believe, is feminine.
Ice cream is feminine, huh?
Yes.
Man, oh man.
See,
What
I'm
could be
so
more
bad at
masculine than
Korean.
ice cream?
I didn't know. Like, my Korean is so bad. I didn't even know there was a masculine and feminine.
Saule, you are so right. Neither of those are Korean. You are right. We've got Spanish and French going on, and English, Americanized
Yeah.
English, which, depending on where you're from, is different. Right?
Yeah. And what century you're from.
Yeah, yep. That's absolutely true, too. You thought it was sign language. Oh, my.
Oh, that's hilarious. Sorry, Rebecca.
And I know we're not necessarily on a topic at the moment, but I did have a thought, which was, oh no, don't go away, thought, please come back.
Oh no,
I've forgotten. I'll speak
You
up
know what?
when I
You can
remember.
blame YouTube on that one.
YouTube.
YouTube
Stinking YouTube.
censored Saule's comment, which just says, "Ryan, this is why your Korean is bad." Totally fine, but that distracted Princess, and now she doesn't know what she's gonna say.
I had to moderate it.
Yeah, so stupid YouTube. Jerk.
Well, I was reading that every day whenever I notice something wrong. It's like looking back at my past life, I feel haunted. Sometimes it's like alternate scenarios about what happened if I had acted very differently about it.
Mhm.
And I remember that as a kid growing up, my dad had a girlfriend who was abusive to us, basically. And I still remember the day when I had met her for the first time at it was a nearby park that is very well known for being a very cool park, by the way. I was gonna say its name, but then people could find me, so
Oh.
I will refrain
Well-
from that. But you know,
They can't really, but yeah, I get
I
it.
mean,
Yeah, they know your area.
Yeah, so I'll refrain
Yeah.
from that part. But
Refrain.
I still remember my dad asking me like, "Hey, do you like? What do you think about this woman?" Basically, like the yes or no from the kid's point of view. And I remember saying yes. And I remember that after some years, I was like, man, I could have stopped this scenario. I could have been, if I had known, or like, because like she was kind, but there was some red flags that I noticed along the way that I was like, this kind of seems a bit weird, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and you're just
it-
a kid. You're respecting
I
your
was
father's
4.
experience. Yeah, you're 4.
I mean,
You
you
can-
really can't hold me accountable for it. I'm 4.
no.
But there is
You
still
should have
that
known better.
fact
You
of
were 4
like,
years old.
man, like if I had the chance to go back in time, I could make a difference. I could, you know, all that sort of stuff. But the other thing that's important to know is that our past is also what allows us to move forward into the people that we are today.
Mm.
So those experiences aren't just, oh man, I wish I had done something better. It also can sometimes be, well, looking back at it now, even further than back when I was 4, I can see that that instance, while terrible, also has allowed me to be someone who understands what it's like to have a lot of difficulty at a very young age, and can help other people who are still trying to heal from their own experiences to find that. Because I can understand where that is, what that's like. And by using that, I can use that to find the words to help people to move forward from it too. So, like, you know, even though bad things happen, there is also good things you can take away from it and can bring to others. And I think that that really helps when you have that thought, when you feel like you're haunted, like, man, I could have done stuff differently or this. But it's important to remember that you can still use those experiences, even though you might feel, you might still be having to wrestle with regret and stuff. That, well, I mean, from that experience, you can grow. And without that, maybe you would have made that mistake in a whole bunch of other places, and even worse times, or in other ways that would create other effects. So, you know.
That's right. That's right, because we don't know what's coming our way. We don't know the future. We don't know any of that stuff. And so maybe that mistake we made and that lesson we learned prevented us making that same mistake in something far more critical and more difficult, right? So it could be. And I got to give props to Princess. You know, she's helped me out in areas because she went through a lot of the challenges that she went through. You know, she had tools and understanding to help me through things that I was, you know, not understanding at the time. And so, you know, those things build us, like you were just talking about, Princess. And I think that's awesome because some of the stuff you went through, and based on some of the decisions that you might have made, some of the mistakes that might have been made, ended up helping me. And what better thing could you do than help me? Because I'm so amazing, right?
Yes, Joe is very amazing. But, you know, even so, you know, it's also nice to just have someone who understands, even if you can't really do anything about the scenario. Just, you know, because for some of my troubles, I didn't have that. And for some of my troubles, I did have that. And I'll tell you, with the troubles, when I had that, it was much, much easier time to get through it. And I learned a lot from somebody else's experiences. And some of the experiences I had to figure out on my own, and I had to figure out how to explain it to others, so that they could have an inkling of understanding. Because, you know, there's different troubles that people don't imagine, you know, and it's amazing how you don't see how your actions affect somebody else because of their perspective. I often have a perspective of fear that I don't think a lot of people have. I learned that when I was like, wait, people don't walk into a building and look for the nearest hiding hole and the nearest exit. Is that really people don't do that? No, people don't do that because they don't need to.
But that's like your automatic conditioned response.
Not always, but usually, especially if it's a location that I'm going to be living in. I found that very quickly when I went, to college for dorms. That was often something that I would take in consideration with location to, if I have a choice in what room I'm in, it would, one, be close to the bathroom because of reasons of needing to go to the bathroom, usually very fast. It usually wasn't something that would be very far away from either a staircase or some sort of other exit. Or it would have some other way of getting down if there were an emergency. And it usually is someplace that there's some hiding nook that I could go into, which sometimes was also a bathroom. That if I needed to have a place to feel secure, I could find that. Even if that safe space was just I created it in my dorm room itself, in the room itself, where I made a little spot that was a little corner that was tucked in. Because for me, some people are very claustrophobic. I find that being in an enclosed space really helps me feel secure and comfortable because I
Really?
can see everything. Yes. For me, I can see everything. There's no way somebody's going to blindside me from behind. I'm not going to get attacked from the sides. I can see everything that's going to potentially do me harm. And for that helps calm me. Because when there's that unknown in there, of the fear of the unknown, of what I don't see or what I perceive is there but isn't, it helps me to limit how much I have to perceive. For other people, they need space. Having an enclosed thing like that is going to make them crazy. So they might need to actually plan out, okay, I need to find an open field area or a nice big room that I could hang out in and just, have space to feel comfortable, But yeah, no, for me, there was one area even in the kitchen where actually I went underneath once and people, I have found hiding places where I just hide other places and then people don't notice I'm there until I crawl out and then I surprise people.
Oh. Hey, I'm here.
Oh, how long have you been there? The whole time?
Long enough. I heard everything you talked about.
Yeah.
And I do want brownies. Thank you.
Yep. Which, of course, some people would then also not very experienced very well. So it's about having some tact of when to come out of your hiding space. And when it's necessary versus when it's not. And when it's okay to be like, okay, well, I know that this hiding space is only a temporary fix and I need to, now that I've calmed myself down being in my hiding space, it's time to prepare myself to go out and to seek professional help. Because that's a good thing to do. And again, I just have more anxiety or fear than I think generally people get. Obviously, people who have anxiety that's strong or such, they'd probably relate to me in some sense. Not perfectly, but
Yep. You have helped me with my anxiety, so I'm glad that you have experience in that area. So thank you, Princess.
Yeah, but I'm not what you'd call an expert, just experienced.
Well, maybe, it was very helpful at any rate. And you're right. Sometimes you gotta not hide anymore. Sometimes there's a hand just out there slapping and you're hiding from it. And every once in a while, you just got to get out and walk right into it and let it smack you a bunch.
Yep.
And then you're like, that hurts.
Yep, but you get out of your hiding hole and you start moving forward. Because again, it's only a temporary solution to help you get down from your anxiety and fear to a state where you're back in control of yourself.
Yep, because really the more we hide, sometimes it's appropriate. Sometimes we need to hide, we need to regroup, we need to retreat for a little bit and, collect our thoughts. And exactly. But it's temporary. And then eventually we do need to get out there. Or else if we just spend the whole time hiding, or even if we just spend our whole lives being comfortable, we end up becoming cowards as a result, right? And then we can't really approach things. We can't assertively decide things. If we spend all the time making decisions, and I understand where you're coming from, David, that, we can be paralyzed if we start thinking in terms of that and we start reanalyzing all of our actions a lot, and we can get caught in that loop over and over and over again. And what happens is then we might be afraid to make any decision. But to make no decision at all is to make a decision, right? You do something ends up happening by default when we don't decide, because the world continues to move forward. And so if we get caught in that analysis paralysis, I've heard it called before, and we just continue to reanalyze all of our past actions, it can cause us to be paralyzed to make a decision, and then we can't move forward at all. Or we end up moving in a really bad direction. Ryan was talking about, sometimes parts of us grow and sometimes other parts of us don't grow, right? Usually the part that we're not moving forward on is actively moving backwards. If we're not moving forward in an area, we're moving backwards in an area. I am actively getting younger every day.
So are you 28 yet?
Sure.
Pretty close.
The opposite is true on that one, I think. That's great, though. I love it. That ties in a lot of things.
Yes. But anyway, wow, David, thank you for that topic in the chat. Holy cow, that was great. I see you're putting more in the chat too. You're starting to worry sometimes whether if one day Japanese pop culture like manga and anime would one day end up becoming an inspiration for demonstrations or riots, and would put the whole pop culture into question. But our future is unpredictable, so we might not know when. You're right. We don't know the future. Could happen. Stranger things have happened. Riots have been incited by all kinds of things. Man, oh man, I live in Michigan.
In recent times.
Yep, I live in Michigan. And we have a university not far from where I live called Michigan State University. See, now I'm telling people where I live.
That's okay.
But yeah. But anyway, they riot when they lose a basketball game. But you know what's even worse? Are the riots when they win a basketball game.
Yep.
Like, people go crazy when they lose a basketball game, and they go out and they're like all over the streets and everything, and the cops have to like be out there and making sure everybody's okay. But when they win, oh man, people will go crazy. They light couches on fire and they tip cars over and everything, and the cops show up with helicopters and tear gas and all kinds of crazy stuff. I remember I used to live like probably a few blocks from downtown East Lansing, where Michigan State is, and from the house I lived in, you could smell it. You could smell the tear gas.
Wow.
And it was like, whoa.
That's not.
Whoa. Like,
That's
we
not
weren't
comfy.
even part of it. We were just like, holy cow, there's helicopters flying all over the place. And we're like, oh yeah, this is a basketball game. That's right. We're like, wow. Riots. Yeah, Philly riots when they win a football game. Fortunately, it doesn't happen very much.
That's great.
Nice. Oh, yes. We are
Let's hope they don't.
inherently introverted and non-confrontational. What was that part from Jester?
Weeb is referring to an anime community.
Oh, yes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so they might not riot. They might riot on Discord.
Or the internet.
Yeah,
They're going to make a bunch of noise, but it's not going to be anything too severe.
It won't destroy any property or light anything on fire, probably.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Man.
Yep, it's amazing. People are interesting. Anime always teaches you to love and forgive. So non-anime fans will use it. It's fun. I'm in the middle of watching Demon Slayer right now. I'm really enjoying it. Have you ever seen the Demon Slayer anime?
Which one, from the 80s?
Oh, I don't know.
No,
It's
that's
the one
just called
it's the one that's on Netflix.
I was thinking of Slayer. Okay, yeah, Demon Slayer. Okay, I haven't watched Demon Slayer. I was thinking you were talking about Slayer, which is from the 80s, and I was like, there's no way he's watching that.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm slowly getting into anime. I'm enjoying it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
And that's
there's definitely, anime is just like movies. There's going to be some that you like, some you don't.
Mm-hmm.
and that's the fun of it. The thing I really like about anime is that animes tend to be a series, and so over the course of 24 episodes, you really get to know the characters and feel for them a lot more than when you watch a movie, because a movie is only 2-3 hours long, and then it's over. And so your emotional commitment to that character, the time of investment to that character is a lot less than in an anime. So that's one thing I really like about animes.
Do ra
More
ra
time to
ra.
explore the characters. Oh, da da da.
Do ra ra ra. Is that
Da 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 da.
Do-da-da-da.
my Gary? I'm currently watching the sub. Or no, I'm watching the dub. I'm sorry.
Dub.
I'm not watching the sub. I have watched anime with subtitles, and I can do just fine. You know.
Because you can read.
But yeah, because I can read. But I do. But you know, I do like the English, and I do like watching their mouths move, not with the English.
Half the fun.
Yes, it's great. But you recently watched the world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat. What?
That is the title of an anime. Yes, there's
Are you
some really
serious?
great ones.
I have
There are
watched
really
that
great
one.
titles. I haven't
It
watched
was
that.
decent. I like other reincarnated ones a little more. I mean, they definitely nailed like the assassin part, and it kind of makes sense. But I think others just have more enjoyable story and lessons to me. But it was decent. I would definitely say that.
That's
On
cool.
not Crunchyroll, on Loot Crate. Remember they sent me an email saying, "Hey, do you want to be, what do you call that? Sponsored in a way?" And I eventually replied to them, "Yeah, it's not gonna. I don't think I can get you really very much potential buyers to be worth anything." So I kind of declined them. But they had a Loot Crate that was specifically designed for really long named anime.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't think that title was on there, but there were some really long ones, like I don't know, like 10-word titles for the name of something. It's like, geez. One of them was, it's the end of the. I think it's something like, it's the end of the world, or if it was the end of the world, are you still with me, or am I alone, or something like that. It was like, what? That was a statement and then a question. It was like, that was the title. It was a full statement and then
I
a
am the
question.
eighth son. You've got to be kidding me. Are you sure? Is another one I think.
Wow.
Or for real might be instead of are you anyway. Yeah, no, there
Yeah.
are some really there's also really long manga titles out there too.
I got
Which is just a
reincarnated as a
book form.
spider. So what? That's one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great. This
I
is a
don't want to
whole
be an
world.
empress.
What's that?
I don't want to be an empress. That's the title of a manga.
I don't want to be an empress.
Yep.
Yeah.
That one's
Yeah,
not too
there's
long,
some-
but
No, but there's some interesting ones out there.
Yeah. Jester, you might be right. The best beginner anime, in my opinion, is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I would have to strongly agree. That was the second anime that I watched all the way through, and I loved it.
yeah.
Oh.
Some might argue Death Note.
Death Note? Okay.
Death Note. Some might argue Death Note as a good beginner anime.
Okay.
I would say that Full Alchemist Brotherhood probably better. I'm not saying that they're wrong. I would just say that because Death Note is definitely a darker theme, and you have to be into dark themes
Okay.
to get into that one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You know, Demon Slayer is kind of cool because, you know, there's all kinds of dismemberment and decapitation and blood and gore and all kinds
yeah.
of fun stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
that's
be
why I
anime
never
without
watch
that.
it.
No.
It's great, but I just finished, before I started watching that one, I just finished One Punch Man, which also was very good and fun,
Nice.
you know.
So do we have any topics today?
We do have topics. I'm sorry.
Why don't we-
We're talking about all
why
kinds
don't
of
we-
stuff. But we're talking about stuff in the chat.
Yeah, which is good. It's good. Today's
Yep.
one of those days. It's like we're just. This is like the first time this has happened in a really long time.
Yeah. But we like hanging out with you guys. You guys are great.
Mhm.
And
You guys are great.
but yes, I think it is time. I will go down the list of topics. Saule, I know you're here and I know you have a topic, but I will also go down the list and we'll see if anyone else is here. Here's the list. If you hear your name, let us know and we'd be happy to do your topic. So Ian Lam, Ezekiel Games, Dracon, LG, Toast, Immature Success, Anonymous. If you're here, let us know you're here. Amira, Meow, and Saule. And yes, chat topics. Chat topics are great. Wait, we got really long anime going in our secondary chat.
That was it. Yes.
Sorry.
World end, colon. What do you do at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us?
That's a title?
That's a title.
That's the title.
That's the actual title. That was what was written on the light novel cover.
What?
Also simply known as World End.
Yes.
And the other one that I put in there, which is the story in which I was kidnapped by a young lady's school to be a sample of the common people, which has a shorter name of Showman Sample.
Good.
But yeah.
That is great.
Anyway,
Yeah, I
sorry to
love it.
distract.
Joe knows I'm here, but I'm
I'm
Adrup.
But I'm a drop. Yo, what's up
Is
with your
that-
mom
Yo,
and dad in the chat
Chat
anyway?
There we
so
go.
I'm a drop. Oh, I'm going to drop. Yeah.
I'm
a drop.
sorry. I saw the word Madro Pay
Yeah,
in the
Madropeo.
middle, and I was like,
Madro.
"What is that? What is
Madropeo.
that?" So anyway, World End is just softcore. Well, that's great.
Oh, great.
What?
Didn't know
I don't
that.
actually want to know, do I?
It basically just means that it's
It's
bunch of
softcore.
people
It's
who are
very
still clothed.
romantic.
yeah, it's romantic and touchy in ways that you don't want to watch, even though they're still clothed.
Okay.
Right on. Or covered with a blanket.
Oh yes, we're covered with a blanket,
Partially.
but they're naked. You know, I'm naked under these clothes right now.
Me
so
too.
It's kind of okay.
Well, I'm not naked under those clothes. I'm
You're not naked under my clothes. No, you're not.
These are
I
not
would
my
know.
pants. These are my pants.
Jeez, that's bringing back an old one.
Yes. Name that video. Anybody who knows it. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
somebody here who knows it.
Somebody
Raka
knows that video.
probably knows it. But all right. Well, Sole, I see you are here, and so we will do your topic that's called pacing, and yeah, we will go from there. So, we'll get a link in the chat here at some point, and I'll get a thing in there, in the other thing, with the whatever thing. Saule, you are right. Mega ego.
Yeah. Wow. Way to go.
Good job. Was that on the
Even on
Tetsuken
my
Z
pants.
channel, or
yeah,
was that?
that's intense.
Was it okay?
Wait,
Yeah.
was it? No.
Is it on BSS?
I don't know.
Is it on this channel?
It was on BSS, I think.
It
I
might.
don't know. It was
it
one on one
might.
of the
It
two.
might still be.
Did Princess just? Yeah, no, she didn't post it, which is I'm grateful for. I think it was on the. I think it was on the BSS.
Hey, you don't want
channel.
me to go look for it?
Yeah, please don't.
Oh.
It's on this channel.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yep.
No, thank you.
Oh, that's great. That's great. All right. So there's the link in the chat for you guys. If you want to read along, you can click it. I'm going to click it. Look at that. I clicked it. Oh, man. And I got a whole man, whenever I click the link, I get a whole bunch of other stuff cuz I'm an admin on the website and
Mm-hmm.
I got to like
Yeah.
scroll way down.
Me too.
You got updates, like 47,000 updates.
Actually, is that song hidden?
Oh, well.
It might be hidden.
Oh
now.
wait.
It's-
No.
it's-
Is Princess a moderator? She is. That's why.
That's why she can't see
Princess.
it.
No, Princess. You can see it. Princess, you can see it because you're a moderator.
That's debatable.
You're
You
able
can't-
to edit people's
can't
posts
see
and
it?
stuff.
Oh, are you wait? Are we talking about the website or are we talking about YouTube?
Talking about
YouTube.
the website.
This wait.
You're talking about website. Okay.
Oh, the
I was
I
talking
website.
was
about the
looking
website.
on
I'm
the
sorry.
YouTube. Sorry, I'm totally taking away from the topic. Okay, my
Yeah,
apologies.
that's okay. I'm responsible for that. It was my fault.
I
I'm
just
I'm
looked
sorry.
at the
sure
classic
you're.
VSS songs and it has 5 of them, but there's one that says unavailable.
Oh.
One unavailable video is hidden. So, anyway, sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, we are talking
We
about
can
completely different things altogether.
It's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be great.
Cool.
We're having fun tonight. We hope you guys will have fun with us. Stay with us, and if you get confused, understand we are too.
Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime, we're gonna do Saule's topic
We're gonna
called
finally do a
pacing.
topic here.
Yep, you
We
can
did a
click the
topic
link.
earlier, but we
True,
are
we
doing
did.
an
We did.
official
We did do
one.
a topic.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and so you can feel free to click it and read along with Princess as she reads it. And this is from Saule, called Pacing.
Pacing. How do you keep up with the pacing of life without running way ahead of it? How do you avoid wasting your time in a frantic rush to catch up or get ahead? From Saule.
That is a great question. How do you keep up with the pace of life without running way ahead of it? How do you avoid wasting time in a frantic rush to catch up or get ahead? Man, oh man, that's a good question. That's kind of like the question of the day for me right now. Because I'm either ahead or I'm behind. It's so weird because, yeah. Have you ever experienced that, Ryan?
Yeah, always.
I mean, you're pretty relaxed and chill and cool and all this stuff. So
yeah, I try to be. Well, here's the thing. Anything that's on your mind is generally going to be things that are stuff you're behind on, or you're urgent. You know, you're like, man, I need to get this done, or you're way ahead on, and you're just like, why did I do that? Blah blah blah. Because if it isn't, if everything is okay with it, it's probably not on your mind, because now you don't need to work on it. You know. So I think that that's kind of, it tends to be why our brains are always so fixated on the things that we don't have right with our time spent, because that's what bothers us. When everything's right in the world, we don't care. You know, it's easy to get by because your brain doesn't have to think about those things because they're already done. They're done perfectly. We don't need to think about them. Out of the way. But what's funny about that is you don't notice how many things you're doing right. You only notice how many things you're doing wrong. Right? That's generally how it is for most people, right? They go through life, they notice all the things they do wrong, because the things that are done right, they don't bother them. So they don't put their mind on those things. They don't focus on them. So they have no idea all the things that they're doing right with their pacing, right? Time spent doing this, time spent doing that. You don't notice when you're doing it right because it doesn't bother you. So I would, if you want to try to get away from, basically, like you said, wasting your time, wasting brain effort on that frantic rush to catch up or get ahead. If you want to calm yourself, try thinking about the things that you don't think about that you have right. It might be a little bit difficult because you haven't done it. But if you can think about those things, right, you might start to realize things are going to be okay. There are many things in life that happen that don't happen as fast as you want them to. A lot of things don't happen as fast as you want them to. They don't get over with as fast as you want them to. You're working on a project, it always takes longer than you ever thought it would, most of the time. And that's just the way life goes. But if you can accept that that's just how life is, I think if you can really accept it, if you can really just embrace the fact that that's always going to be the case in your life, and there's no changing it. Things just tend to take a long time. Things in life are gradual, right? I mean, think about the rate at which we learn new things. It's gradual. It always is, right? You go through school, right? How many years are you in school? 12 years to get out of high school? And then what? And then you go to college to learn more.
Mhm.
You know, you wanna do a doctorate. You know, it take 8 years. That everything seems to be so gradual.
Mhm.
And yeah, we have all these little projects like this project get done, then this project get done, then this, then this, then this, and this, and it's all lined up to go through that class or whatever it is, right? And our minds are constantly busy on what's this project, what's the next project, what's the next project, right? But we are filling all of that gap, but really it's very gradual in which we are completing the course, right? Um, Anything in life that's worthwhile tends to be a process like that. It tends to be a very gradual thing. And so I think if you can just recognize, like, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. There's no getting around it. Life is so long, and we have more things than we can ever do to do. There's more to be done than can ever be done, according to Lion King, and they are right. Opening of Lion King, Circle of Life. um, there's more to be done than can ever be done, right?
Mhm.
It's just not possible. And so if you can just come to accept that reality and say, then whatever, I'm just going to do what I can do and not worry about it, not complain about it. You can try to define your schedule and make your scheduling better. You can work on things with your timing to make your efforts, like, you can block things into 30-minute increments instead of hours, and you'll
Mhm.
find you're more productive. Things like that can be true. You know, everybody has their own system that works best for them. And then, even then, we're still not optimized for it because no human is. No human, if you think that there's a human out there, like, I think a lot of people live their life thinking everybody else is normal and they're fine and that, like, they have their whole life put together. But the truth is, no one has their life put together.
Hmm.
No one's good at spending their time. No one. And so if you could just realize, like, oh, I'm not, everyone's playing that game.
Mhm.
I think for me, that helps because there are important things in life. And I have to recognize that what I do with my time is important. But there are things that are even more important than what I do with my time, which is a weird statement. But here's the thing. I'm a human being, right? Not a human doing. My value rests in he who created me, right? I don't have, I can do nothing outside of that, right? I can't decrease or increase my value based on what I'm doing, but I can do valuable things,
Mhm.
right? But at the end of the day, think about this. At the end of the day, there are children who have died at 1 year old. And then there's me, who is 23. I think that's right.
Give or take.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 23.
23. Because I'm
Thanks, Joe.
29,
Yeah.
and you're still younger
So
than me.
29, 28, 20. Yeah, and I've always been that. Yeah. And every year I get closer to you, so
Mhm.
in age. All right. Anyways, welcome, Ash. Um, so there are kids, right, who have died at the age of 1. What do they do with their life? They didn't even really have the faculties to make choices to do things, right? And am I to say that my time is more valuable, that I should be, like, consider myself more valuable than that child? No, no way. That child is just as important as I am, right? And so when I think about life, there are a lot of different things that are important. There are a lot of different things, and you have to make your choices on those. For example, I have this project and it has a deadline, but I also have this person who's standing right in front of me and they're suffering. And I also have to do the dishes, right? And if you go, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do this project. I can't get it done in time, but I can work on it a little bit and get it mostly done because I have this person in front of me that I need to spend time with, right? Even if they're not suffering, People are the most valuable thing that we will ever encounter in our lives. Spending time with people is one of the most valuable things you can do, right? So at the end of the day, you're like, oh man, all I did was hang out with people all day. I wasted my time. I should have had this project done here, this project done here. No, you've got your priorities wrong. Spending time with people, you did the right thing, because people are more valuable than that thing you're going to do, right? So my whole point in this is, I think for the most part, there are ways you can engineer your life, make schedules, and plan stuff out and make good habits and all of this stuff. Very important to do. Good stuff. But at the end of the day, your perception of this matters a lot, because the truth is, we're all, every one of us, we feel like we're behind on a lot of things. But all we can do is what we've done. We can't change the past. It is what's done is what's done. And we can look forward to working harder on it. But the truth is that if you're getting so worked up that you're stressed out and your life, how you feel, is diminishing, then you've kind of got the priorities backwards. Because what are you doing projects for? The betterment of yourself and the betterment of those around you. But instead, you're freaking out, stressing out, and you're not bettering yourself because you're so stressed out, and you're pushing other people away, maybe acting harsh towards them, cold towards them, or whatever, because you're stressed out. You've missed the point, right? The point was self-betterment, and you've just thrown it all out the window so you can get this project done. So my whole point is, keep the bigger picture in your brain when you realize that you aren't getting things done on time. Because I don't know, for me, that's what I think helps the most. Calm myself and then be able to work with a clear mind. Because if I'm trying to work with a non-clear mind, it's just not good, right? When your brain's freaking out, stressing out because you got to get all this stuff done, and you can't stop thinking about all the other stuff you have to do while you're working on this one thing that you do have to get done anyways, and you're just like freaking out. To be calm instead allows you to be more focused on that one thing and just get it done so you can get on the next thing and take it one step at a time. And I don't know, it just works out way better. But anyways, that's what I got. I hope my whole point there was to hopefully reframe your mind and know that it's okay to be behind. It's okay to be behind. And in fact, that's just the way life is. So don't get caught up in the illusion that it's not supposed to be that way. It just is that way. And you make the best of it that you can. That's the whole point. You make the best of it you can. Because we're human. And that's how we grow. And that's our experience. And it's cool. Anyways,
You're human.
I talked for a while. Huh?
You're human. I'm Terran.
Whatever, man. I'm Gaian.
I'm Zerg.
Yeah, I'm
Actually, no, I'm not. I don't leave slime everywhere.
I do. Everywhere I walk, there's slime. It's awesome.
Yes.
I wish I was a slimy salamander. So wherever I walk, it's just.
Well, you're easy to find, right?
Yeah.
I could track you down by your slime trail.
Perfect. That's what I want in life.
Yeah.
Just
Like, I'll catch up with
times. Well, I'm sure you will. Just don't slip on the slime on your way towards me.
That's half the fun. It's like skating.
Slip and slide on this slime. And it's fun. Anyways, Joe, go for it. I know that you have a lot more experience with managing and planning and so on. So I'm sure you've got some good stuff.
Maybe. I don't know. I can think of about a zillion one-liners when it comes to this topic. You know, there's a lot, there's been a lot of discussion about, you know, productivity, about, you know, how things go, about setting goals and running after them, about all things that are kind of related to this topic. And, you know, probably the most important one-liner that I thought of I don't remember who said it, so I'll just claim it. And it's the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And I love that statement. I love
That
it.
was me.
You said that. Okay, Ryan Static T.
I know I've said it
said
before. I don't know who it comes from.
The
I
main
don't-
thing the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. So what that means is make sure you know what you're focused on. Why are we doing any of the things we're doing? For instance, I have always had a goal to be a full-time member of Black Static and Swerve, like to make Black Static and Swerve my job, right?
Mhm.
So that's been my goal for a long time. Now, I've had lots of different jobs when I had this goal. So, and I had also lots of opportunities to advance in those jobs or to make more money in those jobs or to pursue and work harder at those jobs to get better and make more money, whatever, right? But here's kind of one of the things I discovered. If my main thing is to be in this area of my life, to be a full-time, producer and, whatever needs to be done at Black Static and Swerve, a full-time staff member, does it do me much good to increase my income in another area if I'm trying to replace that income at Black Static and Swerve? Maybe not. I guess it depends on what that income is and what you can live on and, all that kind of stuff, what your responsibilities are. There's all kinds of things to consider in there. But when I was at a point where it was like, okay, I'm making enough money to do what I need to do and pay my bills, do what's required of me. And I have a chance to do a lot of extra work in my inspections business, and increase my income there and become more valuable there. When I was keeping when I would lose sight of the main thing, I would do a lot more work in my inspections business. I would work harder there. I would make more money there. And, usually it would get spent on fun stuff, usually, whatever. Now, when I did keep the main thing, what I realized was like, wait a second. I'm not necessarily looking for a lot of money, a lot of extra money from inspections. What I'm looking to do is replace my inspections income at Black Static and Swerve. So it actually works in my favor with the main thing in mind to keep my income in inspections as low as possible. That way it's easier for me to replace that income. Does that make sense? Ryan, you're nodding. I'll assume everybody else in the chat is nodding.
Everybody
as well.
nodded.
Everybody
Everybody
nodded.
nodded. I was what do you call that? Intercessing for them. There you
Intercessing. Good job.
go. Thank you.
Thanks for being a good
Wow.
intercessor.
My gosh, I am surprised I found the word even.
I'm impressed. You're
Me-
quite impressive.
I'm legitimately impressed with myself right now. It's
Yeah.
so dumb. Because I look so dumb doing it. But that I was impressed. I was like, dang, I actually found the word for once.
Yeah.
Usually I don't.
Now,
Anyway, sorry.
here's another okay, so Jester, but to keep the main thing would be to ignore the minor things. For to focus on the minor thing would make it the main thing, therefore making the main thing a minor thing. That
Yes, you have to define what
that
your
makes
main thing
sense.
is and say that doesn't change.
Right, exactly. So you figure out, okay, what's my main thing here? Now, here's an interesting caveat to this whole thing, because we're talking about my inspections income and keeping that low so it's easier to replace, when I want to make the move to full-time Black Static and Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when I needed equipment. And I had an opportunity to take on some extra inspections work. And in light of that, and this microphone is actually one of those pieces of equipment that I got from that extra work. I needed some microphones. I needed some other gear, and it was all going to help in my pursuits at BSS. So I took on that extra work because it fed my main thing. Does that make sense? So if we can remember, okay, now whatever it is that your main thing is, keep that in your mind. And then if you can then make that your priority, it makes decision making easier with that in mind as you're deciding to do things. And then you're not wasting your time, and doing a whole bunch of inconsequential things, or you're not running really fast in a direction that's not going to help you in your main thing, right? So if you can learn to focus somewhere, wherever it is you want to focus, then you can prioritize your activities based on that. Interestingly enough, I have an assignment from my therapist this week, and it's really, really, really hard. This is the most difficult assignment I've ever had. She has given me books to read, and I've read them or gotten them and read through most of them, and whatever. And she's always like, "You're so efficient. You're always like right on the ball with all these assignments." And I'm like, "Well,
stop it. That's not the point of them. I want you to fail at them."
Right.
That's the point. You need to it's no, sorry, go on.
So I have this new one. This new assignment this week is have fun. Find some playtime. Right? And it's so hard for me because so much of my life for so long has been just my duties. Not my duties, like my duties. Right? Like things that I have to get done. I got to work at this. I got to take care of that. I got to handle this. I got to whatever. It's like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And I have to find something that's just simply fun. And I have to do something not to advance any goal, not to move forward anywhere, just simply to take that time and have fun. And I'm like, I'm at a loss. I'm like, what do I do? Right? I'm thinking, I could go for a walk in the woods. Well, it's hunting season.
I don't want to wear orange.
It's yeah, I could wear orange in the woods, right? But I wouldn't want to mess with somebody's hunting day, right? Because I know there's a lot of guys out there, and I'd mess up their day. Be like, you're scaring away my deer. I'm gonna shoot him. Try a Rubik's Cube. See, a Rubik's Cube would not be fun for me. That just makes me upset.
People have different ideas what fun is.
It's the perfect fidget toy. It is a good fidget toy, but I just, for some reason, there are people like my martial arts instructor and also my kids' music teacher at their school. They're like Rubik's Cube geniuses. They just understand how they're put together and how to do all the complicated things to get all the sides put together and do. I look at a Rubik's Cube and I start turning it and I'm just like, it's worse than it was. This is stupid. Princess, the assignment was to have fun. I have to do something that's just playtime. And my therapy appointment is in 2 days, and I still haven't done this, and I'm stressing out about it now.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to go talk to my therapist, and I'm going to be like, yeah. She's going to be like, so did you have fun? And I'll be like, no. And I'm really stressed about it now, too, because I feel like I failed my assignment. And she's going to be like, yeah, you're neurotic. We got some work to do. We're going to start doing 2 appointments a week. How about Minecraft with my kids? That is fun. And yep, that happens and it's a good time. Minecraft in general is fun. I don't know if video games were the thing. Maybe that would work. I could just do some gaming.
Gaming is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's playtime.
It
It's
is.
just with virtual toys rather than physical toys.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm making this harder than I need to make it.
Oh
Well, it's very
yeah.
easy to overcomplicate fun, especially when you're like not having fun and you're trying to be like, I've got to have fun. You can.
Yeah. Well, I'm in therapy because there's lots of my life that's not very fun, and so she's like trying to make my life fun. you
You
know?
could read a book for fun. You could draw for fun. You could come up with lyrics for fun. You could wiggle
She
your
told him that
toes. You
he's
could.
not allowed to do any music kind of fun
Right.
Okay.
Music I can't do because that advances my career
because
goals.
that's career.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry.
Yep.
I missed
So,
that
Yeah,
part.
no,
and
it's
that
totally good though.
she specifically said not playing music because you're gonna equate that with work. And I'm like,
Mhm.
yep, you're
What if
right.
you
I
did a
am.
storybook of origami stuff and you just find different origami things to make and you make like a little play set out of origami?
I could. I could make all kinds of. I've been making lots of origami flowers.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know if that's more of a coping strategy than anything at this point.
Buy a boatload of Play-Doh and
Make your own
have
Play
a
Doh.
blast.
Make my own Play-Doh. That just
Yeah,
sounds like
I
a
actually
mess.
did that with my Oma. No, it's actually very easy and not a mess at all. I can give you a recipe for it.
All right,
Hmm.
yeah.
5 minutes of your time and you've got very fun Play-Doh.
I've got fun Play-Doh.
You
Does it
can
make?
also make it gluten free.
Yeah, you can eat it too because it's made of cooking products.
You
Oh.
probably don't want to though. It's not going to be tasty.
Mm.
Yeah.
Genshin Impact. I've been hearing about Genshin Impact. Don't
Mm.
actually play Genshin Impact. Why? Is it addictive or something?
People find it so, especially Raka, who is speaking about it.
Um, It's
Who's crazy
addictive.
enough to have 2 accounts.
It's addictive in a way that it sort of makes you want to pay money for features and or characters,
Okay.
and it can be a real cash grab for some people if
Ah.
they're not disciplined well, which you would be. But
Yeah. It's interesting. Well, these are some great ideas. If you have any other ideas that totally wasn't just playing it.
you're playing it right now, Raka. It's all right. It's okay. You can play it.
That's right. Yes, go bang on the drums all day. I love that. I don't want to
Just
work.
wanna work. I
I
just wanna
to
bang on the drums all day.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. But anyway, so if whatever your main thing is, keep that your priority, right? But then also remember this. This one I know Will Smith said. He said sometimes in our lives, we are the person that's broken down on the side of the road waiting for somebody to come help us. So there are going to be moments when you are running, you have the main thing, and you are chasing after something, and everything's clicking. You know, everything's just going great, and then all of a sudden, the world explodes in some way, and you're just stuck. You can't do anything. You can't move. You can't go anywhere. You can't. You're just stopped, and then you're waiting. This tends to happen if you have, if there is some kind of a legal issue in your life. You will spend a lot of time waiting. You'd be like, okay, I did all this, I filed all this, I got all this in, and then you just wait because the court system takes a long time, right?
Mhm.
There are times when, it happens in our jobs, it happens in all kinds of things, where you just end up stuck. And sometimes you just got to recognize, okay, here I am. That's okay. I'll get caught up. So life is not going to, just have everything fall into place for us all the time. So as we're running, life will continue moving. Like Ryan was talking about, he's like, our value isn't what we do. Our value is in what we are, is in who we are and in whose we are. That's where our value comes from. And if we can remember that underlying everything, those moments when we are waiting become so much easier. because we then recognize, my value isn't in the fact that I'm, running on all cylinders, making this happen, going forward and stuff, which is a very rewarding experience to have everything going in your favor and everything's clicking. You're just jamming. It's great. That's a great way to be. But then when that's not happening, if we put all of our value in the fact that that's happening, it's easy to fall into despair, into discouragement, and everything like that. And so in those moments, we have to be reminded that what we do isn't what makes us valuable. You being you is what makes you valuable. And also remember this, because I have set lots of goals, and most of them I miss. Most of the goals that I set, I've missed. Doesn't mean that I didn't run after it. Doesn't mean that I didn't work hard at it. Yes, maybe I could have worked harder. Maybe I could have done a little bit more. Maybe I could have, stayed up a little later and gotten more done. Gotten up a little earlier. Whatever. But the hitting your goal is not the reason that you have a goal. The reason we set goals is so that we can become the type of person that runs after goals. Because, like I was just talking about, stuff's going to happen. It's going to get in our way. We're going to get stopped. We're going to run into setbacks. We're not going to hit a goal. And if everything that we identify with is wrapped up in this goal, again, we're going to fall into discouragement and despair, and we're going to beat ourselves up and all that kind of stuff. But if we can remember that the reason we're setting that goal, we want to move forward. We want to eventually hit the goal. But the reason we're doing that is not for the sake of the goal. It's for us to become a person of action that is actually going and doing something, is actually making things happen. Because seriously, life's a lot more fun when we try hard. It really is. I remember saying this to a person, it might have even been on this show, where I was like, try hard. Don't be afraid to try hard. Don't be afraid to give it your all. We'd see it in martial arts. The little kids, the new kids were always the best because they were excited and they were passionate and all that kind of stuff. And then somewhere halfway up the ranks, everybody got cool. And then it's like, and they get a little sloppy and a little bit lazy, and it's not as much fun anymore. I don't know. It's not as much fun because they're not trying hard. But when you try hard, it's a lot more fun. Even if you're failing. Now, there comes a point when failing is frustrating and you need a friend to talk to. But yeah, don't be afraid to try hard. Keep the main thing. And remember, you're going to have setbacks, and that's okay. Because like Ryan said, we're not human doings. We're human beings. And yeah, that's what I got. Ryan, back to you.
Yeah, I don't think I really have anything else. So I hope we covered it.
I
Yeah,
have a
Sally, if
small
you have
side
any...
tangent.
Yes.
Cool.
Because when I read this, it just reminded me of a time when I was in high school, and I was in the classroom and I was thinking, but then I kept thinking to the point where my thoughts, like I couldn't keep up with my own thoughts. So then I began pacing back and forth until I was practically running like all of a 2 or 3 foot stretch of just, rapidly going to keep up with my thoughts. And then there's times where like I'm moving much faster than my thoughts. It's like trying to get myself to slow down. So I mean, like, your thoughts are your thoughts. You have the ability to let them run wild, but because they're also your thoughts, you somewhat have the ability to either change the pacing of your thoughts or change your pace to meet your thoughts. Um, so if you ever run into that scenario, try actually physically trying to keep pace with your thoughts, and you can find that that'll help you.
Hmm.
Or at least it helped me on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. When I have a lot to think about, I usually pace. What I like to do is I like to find a dark room and then walk around in circles through a certain, like usually around different objects. Then I'll walk that path like 400 times.
In the dark?
Yeah.
Do you run into the stuff?
Mm-mm.
No?
No. I do it in the dark because it's more comfortable in my eyes. There's less for my eyes to focus on to get distracted, and it just is a lot better of a setting for me.
Wait, so it's not
That's
pitch
just me.
black in there?
No, I wish
Okay.
it was.
You-
I wish it was. I want a actually, if I could design my own house, I would have a ballroom, and the ballroom would not be for dancing. It would be, I need to think, I'm going to turn off the lights in here, be pitch black, go to the center of it, and just walk around, pace in the ballroom, just without being able, having to use my eyes, and I can just keep on walking. I would love that. Because I like, that's, I don't know, that's my thinking zone. That's how I think, but that's not everybody. So I just wanted to share that's weird and peculiar about me. But if you guys do anything similar, do what you do.
I want to be your
I
roommate.
usually have a pattern. Like I will find either a line in the floor or a box of some sort where I will. Thankfully, I've been in a lot of colleges or high schools where there's some sort of pattern on a floor, and so I will follow that to a
Mhm.
very strict T because I
Gotcha.
find that's helpful and therapeutic. Because again, I need something to
Mhm.
focus on, but for me, having a visual aid of it's a thick line that I'm following or a certain color, or it's a, I've lined out a particular square of carpet or a circle, I guess,
Yeah.
if you want it. But
Yeah, I've
I
done that
find
before
squares
too.
make me less dizzy. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Tiles on the floor, you only step on the long ones and not the square ones, like only rectangular ones and not the square ones, type of thing.
yeah. We had ones that
Yeah.
were rectangular. That all the tiles were square, but they were different colors. So there was one that was a flat color, and then there was like a stripe of purple, a stripe of blue, a stripe of green, a stripe of yellow, a stripe of orange, a stripe of red. Repeat. So it's fun to like hop on all the different little colors. So, but otherwise, I would outline one of those with my footsteps. Anyway, that was all.
That's cool. I'm trying to think of mechanisms that I have when I need to think. I think a lot of times I go driving because that's kind of
Mhm.
like my
Yeah.
default place
Mm-hmm. I
for
remember
thinking.
that about you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be
But now that you
weird.
drive all the time, it's different.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm ready to not be driving all the time. But then I'll
Mhm.
probably go crazy when I stop driving all the time. I'll probably be like, yeah, I got to go driving.
I gotta go take a drive.
I
You
got to go
will.
somewhere.
Nothing wrong with going to take a drive or go take
Mhm.
a drive to go see a view. You know,
Mhm.
that can be a fun activity.
Mhm. Yep, it
All right.
certainly can.
But yeah, sorry, I didn't have anything.
All right.
So
Well,
Apologies
cool.
for the derailing.
No,
No, it's
that's
okay.
fine. It was not a derailing. It was a contribution
there you go.
is what that was. But Sole, thank you so much for the topic. Thank you for and hopefully we helped you out with that a little bit. It can be pretty frustrating when things aren't going as fast as you want, or they're going faster than you want, and it's like you're trying to get your head wrapped around it and keep up.
Mhm.
Both can be frustrating. So
Yep.
different things move at different paces. Some things move faster. I prefer things that move fast and things get done. I don't like to wait a lot. But I don't know. Maybe the older I get in my 29th year of living, I'll become more patient.
No,
No.
that's not how it works. Now
It's not.
I know way too many old people who are even more impatient in their oldness than they were when they're young. So
Really?
it's not how that works. Yeah, it's a matter of fixing it now and
Okay.
working on it now. Like most virtues.
Yeah. Well, I am with you, Sole. Driving is great. I know you're a car guy. I'm not really much of a car guy as far as, the aesthetic value of a car. I just like the functional value of a car that I can get in and go somewhere and drive around. But hey,
I think
cool
the
cars are
I
still
think
cool.
the art I think the art of pacing or driving around, or some people might tap their fingers on a desk, that type of thing, when they think, is you're doing something to stay alert and awake. So you're doing something subconscious that you don't have to think about super hard.
Mhm.
But your subconscious then keeps on, keeps being active. So it keeps you awake while you're focusing on something else.
Mhm.
And so it allows your subconscious mind to talk to your conscious mind a lot better and stimulate that and keep you awake and alert and able to think properly. And I think that's why a lot of people do these rather simple tasks,
Mhm.
like just walking is a simple task.
Yeah.
Driving a car, you've done it so much, it's a simple task. It's something that keeps you going, oh, something just happened in front of me, I need to slow down. Okay, that's a stop sign. You have to think a little bit, but it's mostly subconscious work.
Mhm.
So I think that's probably why we do that.
That's true. And there's a lot of that in like mantras and stuff too for meditation. The rosary, for those of you who are Catholic, that's the purpose of that. I mean, those of you who know what the rosary is, you're basically saying the Hail Mary prayer over and over and over again, right? But that's basically like a mantra while you focus on an area of the life of Christ in that section where you're doing that, right? And so it's something that you're doing, but what it does, because it's a repetitive, simple action, it's a repetitive, simple thing that you're saying, what happens is that kind of fades into the background a little bit, and it draws you deeper into the thinking process. It's much like when Ryan's pacing in the dark. He's doing that thing, but what's happening is that activity is drawing him deeper into thought, right? For driving, it's the same thing for me. Princess is the same thing for, finding the patterns and stuff, like that act can actually help draw you deeper and maybe come to even more conclusions, which is pretty cool. But yeah. Anyway, oh wait, I'm the host. I get to be the guy. Thank you so much for the topic. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
I'm good.
It's a messed up show. Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. This is a
Welcome-
show where we talk about you guys.
Yeah, welcome to today's edition of Don't Worry Wednesday.
Yeah, where Joe's losing his mind, and that's okay.
That's all right. We all are.
We all
We
are
all are.
losing our mind a little bit.
Joe's
here and there.
losing his mind. Princess is falling asleep, and Ryan is just Ryan.
I'm sure, all I can do is get out of the way and make these guys, because they're going to be better than me, even alert, So
What?
See, he didn't understand. He's pretending not to understand what I'm saying.
Yes. It's super fun. But anyway, yeah. Ryan is Ryaning.
Oh man,
Yes.
you guys figured me out.
Everybody
Ryan.
Ryan. We're gonna go to the Ryans and do some Ryan.
You guys want to do me real quick? You want to do the Ryan?
Do the Ryan.
Yeah.
That's not it.
That I don't think that was it.
That's totally not it.
No, it's where you smile and everything's all right.
Yeah, I like
Whatever
that.
it is. Yeah.
That's a good way to be. Yeah, so that was Saule's topic, pacing. I'm gonna go back through the list. If you guys have a topic, this is Don't Worry Wednesday for those of you who are joining us. Yeah, this is the show we do on Wednesdays. If you have a topic you'd like us to cover, you can put it in the chat. Make a Ryan room on Discord. There's the Static P friend server.
Yeah, but they don't all have to act like me there. They're free to act like themselves. They're free to do that.
They're free to do
Yes, they
that,
don't
which is
normally.
not like you. Yes. See you later, Raka. Have a wonderful night. Yeah, if you guys have a topic, feel free to put it in the chat. You can send us an email, dww@bss.studio. Put it on our website, bss.studio. Send us a message on Discord. Do all that kind of fun stuff. I'm going to go through the list of names. If you hear your name, let us know you're here, and we'll do your topic. Otherwise, we might have to do some chat topics, which is always fun, too. We'll, do some spitballing. It'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so here's the list: Ian Lam, Ezekiel Games, Dracon, LG, Toast, Immature Success, Anonymous, Amira, and Meow. And that's our list of names. Excuse me. With topics. And, what do you mean? I don't know. What do you mean? Oh,
What
Ash,
do you do when your cut's not going straight?
when your cut's not going straight, like when you're
What
cutting
kind of
with
cut are we
scissors?
talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, are we
it's-
talking about scissors through like lamination, or do you mean like a haircut, or
I think they're talking about a movie cut. A cinematic cut.
Mm.
I'm just kidding.
anyways?
know
I
that's
was
not the
just
term.
asking for clarification.
Yes.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
if you're cutting wood,
Wood. None of us got it right.
when you're cutting wood, like with a chainsaw or a saw or jigsaw, band saw, I don't know.
You sandpapering it so much it's cutting it.
Oh, that could be something. A
Dang.
saw. When your cut's
Saw.
not going straight, it's a reference to something. Seems like no one gets it. We thought you were
Oh.
being serious. Like you're actually there cutting some wood.
Yeah, me too. I thought you were like in the. Oh well.
Because
this
then
a-
I could tell you that you probably want to be really stable. You might even want like a second piece of wood when you're actually cutting. We did this in shops class. Like,
Why? Okay, so the
give me
cut's
a
not going
serious
straight.
answer.
Yeah, why don't you try cutting straight? Why don't you try getting a straighter saw? Is that your problem?
You grow autocorrect.
Or the
Oh.
technique.
Oh, so like you get better at correcting as you go. A miter box. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to get a straight cut. Having a guide if you got a table saw can help. But I'm terrible.
Yeah.
When I'm cutting
Drawing a
wood,
line.
yeah, if I draw a line and try and cut it with a saw, forget it.
Forget it.
It's not going to be straight. Unless I have something to prop it up against in like a guide,
Yeah.
But that's just me. It's from Unis Annis.
Unisanus.
Unis Annis.
It's a Markiplier thing that they did for a year and then deleted the channel because they wanted it to be a temporary, like in the moment sort of thing, and then be done with it. So
Gotcha.
I didn't watch it.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I totally went over my
Don't
Yeah,
head.
me too. I had no idea.
Yep.
Sorry we didn't get it.
Yes.
Yeah, cranky at this.
But that reminds me of a movie quote. He's totally literal. It totally went over his head. It did not go over my head. Nothing would go over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
I do love that quote.
Wow, that's a long quote. What's that from?
That's from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
Okay.
Ah, yes.
Makes me think of the theme song.
The theme song?
Yeah, like the remember with the beginning of the movie when he puts his headphones on and there's music starting and he's walking along?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that song that I don't want us to get
Come and get your love. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. And he's
Anyway.
singing into the animal.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My image of that was better than your image of that because you imagined exactly how it was. My version was you were trying to sing into the animal, as in from the Muppets. The big red furry guy who plays the drums. You were trying to sing into him.
Oh, yeah. He's fun.
Yeah.
I was like Animal.
Yeah.
He's a good
Animal's
Muppet.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
But my
I saw a
favorite
recent
Muppet.
commercial with animal in it. And he was like, then there's an animal in your like attic, and then it was animal like on the
Hmm.
drum set being really loud.
Ah,
Mm,
nice.
Anyway, sorry.
I like Animal. My favorite Muppet is the Swedish Chef.
Oh, definitely. I would have to agree.
Yep.
Him and
He-
Mimi, whatever his name is.
He's the only one with human hands.
He is.
Everyone else, all the other ones have Muppet hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the Swedish Chef, actually, it's like somebody's hands doing stuff, right? And so it's actually a
Yeah.
two-person Muppet because one person's got their hands, doing
And
the
one
Swedish
person
Chef
has
thing,
the.
and the other person's got the mouth, right?
But it's funny. What's really funny about it is he seems more incapable with his hands than most other Muppets,
I know.
right?
It's
That's part of
hilarious.
the hilariousness of it. It's like, oh wow, real human hands. What can you do with them?
Und the
Like,
ping pong ball. Yes, that was great.
I like him. He's great.
Yep, the Swedish Chef is great. Man, we're gonna talk. Hey, we don't really have a topic, so we're just gonna talk about stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. If you came here for fun, well, hopefully you're having it. If you came here for anything else, sorry.
we're gonna have fun and try and laugh. The
Yeah.
one I remember the most was the onion soup video. The onion soup, was that a Swedish Chef video?
That's got to be. He was the only one that ever went into the kitchen, really. I don't know
Yeah.
it though.
Yeah, I don't
I'm gonna
know
have
the
to look that
onion
one
soup
up. My girlfriend Stephanie just messaged me. She said, "And gonna clip and save the Swedish Chef impersonation or impression." It makes me immediately regret what I've done.
Perfect. Oh man. What a fun Don't Worry Wednesday.
I'll say
Yeah. Are you having fun?
I'm having fun. I always have fun when I'm hanging out with you guys. It's great to be here.
Me
Even if
too.
we're not on topic, you know what? It's all right.
Yeah.
Having fun.
That's
See,
right.
Here you go, Salve. That's on topic. See, you have all these plans and they don't go your way, but life still goes on and it's still worth something, even if your plans don't go your way.
Is it?
I think, yeah.
Is it
You know
still
the
fun?
song, yeah, you know the song "Life Might Take Us."
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote that song because there's people out there who, when plans don't go their way, they just hate everything.
Were you thinking of me?
And they freak out. No, I wasn't thinking of you. Just saying there's people out there who do that.
Oh, okay.
I have never seen you do that.
You never seen me do that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well. It must be in my
Yeah, I've
brain.
always-
I keep it all in
I
my
think you
brain.
freak out in your brain, but you've always handled it really exceptionally. Because I've been with you in a lot of times when things weren't going right. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of different things have happened that didn't go right.
That's what you get when you're my friend.
Yeah, and well, it goes for anybody. We're driving on the road, a car breaks down, and you're like, well, and you've always been just. It seems like you've always been like, maybe you're freaking out in your head, but you've always been like calm, collective, and like, here's what we need to do, and you start to do it to solve the problem. And I think that's awesome. But when things
Well, I
don't go
appreciate
your
that.
way, right? And life might take us. I'm talking about a scenario where you should get excited. You have all these plans. You're like, man, I'm not on time with this. I'm not on time with that. You feel like you're behind or the other way around. Things are going too fast. Whatever it is, I'm waiting here and I'm waiting for my project to come back to me and this person's not giving it to me. I'm just sitting here waiting. It's, what do I do? I think there's always room in those situations where plans don't go according to plan, when things don't go according to plan, that you can make that something to get excited about.
Mm-hmm.
Because instead of getting worked up about something you can't change, or getting stressed about it and trying to get a bunch of stuff done that you can't handle, if you take that moment to go, hey, you know what? I guess we're doing this now. Cool. That's part of the adventure. That's part of the fun. This is what I'm doing now. Like, oh, my car broke down. Cool. Now I get to tell everybody my car broke down on my way here. And they're going to be like, oh, dang, that sucks. And I'm like, yeah, it does. It's sweet. So I get to say that now.
They
and I
do
get to
make
have a
the
good
best
attitude.
stories.
So when people go, oh man, it stinks, I'll have a smile on their face, and they're gonna think, wow, this guy's so strong. His car breaks down, he's still smiling. I'm like, yeah, I get to be that guy. Cool. All right, because why not, right? I think if you go through life like that, it's so much more enjoyable. If you go through life with a strict plan for everything, you're just gonna have a really bad time because 90% of the things are not gonna go your way.
That's true.
And it's probably higher than 90%. In this life, almost nothing goes according to our own plans. They just go as they go, and we do our best to course correct or just take advantage of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But all things can lead to good if you make them into good, right? So that's why there's always a reason to get excited. Because when plans aren't going according to plan, then there's something wrong. But that wrong thing is going to make everything greater than it could have ever been without it. So that's something to get excited about. And it's like, oh, things are going wrong. Ooh, a challenge. Nice. Let's see what we can do with this. You know, oh, you're going to test me? Ha, let me show you. And then you'll try. You know, you can, perspective is really important for that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you feel like you're not getting things done in time, just keep in mind, things aren't going to go your way. Even if you thought you could get things done on time, even if they did, someone else somewhere else would slip up.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it goes. And so no use throwing a tantrum.
That's right. You end up with some great stories though too, when stuff
Mhm.
doesn't go your way.
Oh yeah.
It's fun. That's how great stories are made. In fact,
Mhm.
If everything went according to plan, like that'd be a really boring movie.
Sure would be.
Think about it. If everything went the way it was supposed to, that would be so boring.
If everything went according to plan, you wouldn't know me.
That's true.
Because Mr. Bishop would have called my brother up, and my brother would have said, "No, I don't want to do your stupid business. Bye."
That's right.
Because that was the plan. Call my brother so that he could tell Mr. Bishop that he wasn't going to do that business idea.
That's true.
Instead,
That's true.
right? Because you made him call my brother because my brother was going to say no, but he
That's
ended
right.
up saying yes.
It's funny because I made him go through the list and I was like, okay, which one of these people on your list you're absolutely positive is going to tell you no on the phone? And he's like, Kyle. I'm like, why are you having me call him? It's because then you get a no and it gets out of your way and then you're fine, like whatever, but but he didn't say no.
Didn't go according to plan.
No, did not go according to plan. Not at all. I had a time when things didn't go according to plan. It was really frustrating at the time, but it ended up being pretty funny. Like I remember I was driving and I was a band instrument repairman. Right? This is what I was doing for a living at the time. And I was actually going into the city of Battle Creek, Michigan. Those of you who have been to Battle Creek, Michigan, it's like all hood. It's all. Now, I don't want to offend any people from Battle Creek, but that's kind of the way the city is. They would agree. Yes. But anyway, so I'm on my way down there because I was working at a store in Kalamazoo, which is probably like 20 miles from Battle Creek, right? But there was a place that actually made and sold band instrument repair tools in Battle Creek. One of like 3 suppliers for these tools in the United States, and one of them's in Battle Creek, Michigan, like right there, right? So anyway, so I'm going down there to pick up a few things that I ordered, and then I'm going to be going to work, right? So I get going, and I'm getting close to the place, and all of a sudden, the railroad thing goes down, right? The arm and the railroad lights, ding, ding, ding. The arm goes down, and it's like, great. Well, this is gonna be fun. But most of the time the train goes through and it takes a few minutes, whatever, and you sit there and you have your car in park and you turn up the radio and you listen to whatever you're listening to, and and whatever. And whatever. So I'm waiting, I'm sitting there, and this train is coming, and I'm like, oh, it's got 3 engines on it. That's not a good sign.
Oh.
Because the more engines,
it's gonna be a long one.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's gonna have a lot of cars. So it's going 3 engines, and it's like going and going, and I'm like, is it slowing down? I'm like, this is it's slowing down. And like, seriously, it slows and slows and slows. And it's a super long train. I'm sitting there. I swear I was there for like 10 minutes and it's still slowing down and it's still going by. And it's getting slower and slower and slower. And then I look and I can see the last car. And I'm like, oh, sweet, we're almost there. And it's getting slower and slower and slower and slower. And that last car
Stops
gets
right in front of you.
halfway through.
Oh
It
no.
stops. And it sits there.
Oh,
And I'm like,
man.
I could drive around it. Like,
It would be illegal, but you could.
and I'm like, what? Then
It starts backing up.
oh,
no.
back the other way.
I've done this.
And
I've
it's like-
been through this.
So then I'm like, what is going on? So the whole way, and it speeds up, and then it's slowing down again, it's slowing down again, slowing down again, slowing down again. I'm not kidding at all. They must have gotten rid of one of the engines. Now there are only 2 engines on the front. And they get so it's in the middle again. The very front of the front car right now. Now that's in the middle. Stopped. Like and then it goes again. And this time it went all the way through. But seriously, I had to sit there. I was there for over a half an hour. And I was the first one in line.
I have been there more than once in Colorado.
Oh my gosh.
This is so
Crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
And
We
you're
have-
like, I have to be somewhere.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I got questioned sternly at the shop I was working at. Why are you here so late? I'm like, sorry. I couldn't do anything. I was stuck. It was a train. Really? A train took that long? Yes, a train took that long. But in the town I live in now, there's a spot. There's a big main road that has a railroad track right across it. And it's right by the rail yard. So it happens multiple times a day where that road is just closed
Mm.
because there's a train stopped and they're doing all whatever shenanigans they're doing with cars and whatever, and they don't have anywhere to put it because the rail yard's right there. And, it's crazy, but yeah.
Yeah. I remember doing inspections and just like you're like going and then all of a sudden it closes right in front of you. You're like, oh no. How long is this one gonna take? And sometimes it's just like, okay, it was 2 minutes of my time. No big deal. I'm 2 minutes behind my schedule. That's I'll figure it out. But then like, yes, I've had times. I remember one time I think it was waiting for a train 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a long train.
Yeah, they happened to have it was basically the same thing. They it was a section where the train kept on going back and forth because they were unloading and then loading, and their train was so long that they never completely passed where we're supposed to be driving through. So yeah, 45 minutes. I remember that was the longest one. Had 2 that were half an hour long and then a couple that were 15. So not and so when that happens, I'm just like, sweet. It's like having the day off. Awesome. It's
Yeah.
hey, because I can't do anything about it. People can
Right.
complain to me. I can't change it. So whatever. I don't care. No big deal. It's like I just sit there and I relax. I'm like, sweet, a break. Good. I'm gonna take this break in and I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna have a care in the world about my inspections that are due. Whatever. It is what it is. It's not like I can change it by thinking about it. So I'm just gonna take this break and enjoy it and be like, yeah, I got a break today. It was great. 45 minutes. Unplanned.
That's awesome. I
Mhm.
kind of feel like that in my inspections job now.
Hmm.
That I don't care
I bet you do.
about them getting done.
Yeah, I bet.
You do something long enough and, eventually
Yeah.
you're just like, psh, whatever. So I see Meow just got here. We got like 5 minutes left in the show.
Oh, hey.
Yep. Meow's
Yeah,
got a
definitely not enough
topic.
to cover the topic.
Yeah, I don't think 5 minutes is enough to cover the topic.
Hey, Meow.
How you doing, Meow? It's good to see you. Yeah, well, I don't know. Should we make the announcement public, I guess?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Whatever announcements you want to make.
Whatever announcements I want to make. So, I was talking earlier about not being an inspector and doing work for Black Static and Swerve full time. That's happening now. In a week and a half. I've got a week and a half left of my inspections job.
Yay!
And then I don't have to do it anymore. And then it's not just me, but also Ryan's brother is going full time as well. So we'll be able to do a lot of more fun things.
Yeah.
We're trying it. We've got figured out, different things we want to do. There's different things we're going to do with this show to make it more accessible and more, I don't know, we're going to make it more better or whatever, right?
More betterer.
More betterer.
Much like our English.
Yep. We can do more streams. We can do more different kinds of shows. We talked about Theology Thursday. That's on the possibility to do that. We've got all kinds of projects. Criminal Idol Season 2, we might get back on track. Some of those.
I don't think you get back on track, but definitely need something to happen.
Yeah, we need to get that on track. Bringing Free for All Friday back. There's all kinds of stuff we want to do. All kinds of stuff we want to do. And
maybe gaming streams and things like that.
Yep.
All sorts of different stuff.
Revitalize the Twitch gaming stream. Yep. A show that makes us question our life.
Come in. Yeah.
Yep. It's going to be fun.
Are you real?
And then the cat.
You right now.
Baron, that's your response for everything.
No, sometimes it's the other cat in the box.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Just don't resurrect too many things. Yeah, there are some things that don't need to be resurrected.
That's right.
You're absolutely right.
There's a lot we got to talk about to figure out what's going to be the best plan of action for the company and all that kind of stuff. So,
yep. But we're excited. We're excited to move things forward, and Ryan's excited to have some people to work with.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah, so it's not just Ryan by himself, hanging out. Yeah, it's going to be cool. You're 100% in for a show that makes you question your life. Most shows should make you question your life, I think, right? Shouldn't they?
I think that would be entirely up to the person watching and not up to the show.
That's true. That's true.
And what exactly you mean by question?
True. Or life. Depends on what the definition of is.
What do you mean by the word my?
Yeah, define my. Who?
We? Do you mean the royal we?
What kind
what
of
is
format?
The thing at the end of the sentence? What? That's a weird curvy thing. Is that a letter? The question mark. Define question mark. What is?
What is? What kind of format is Theology Thursday going to be? That is a really good question. We have talked about a lot of different options. We've talked about, because it's interesting. It would be, if it was just the people who were full-time at BSS, me and Ryan and Kyle at the time, you're going to get an incredibly Catholic show.
That's true.
Because all of us are Catholic.
Yeah.
So it's like, but theology ranges so much more broad than just Catholicism. There's Calvinism. There's There's other Protestantism, Lutheranism. There's, and then you get even beyond between just Catholics and Protestants. There's, Jehovah's Witness and Latter-day Saints, and you get outside of the ones that are focused on Christ, and you have Buddhism and Shintoism and, all kinds of stuff. Islam. I think it would be really cool to have people from a lot of different areas. Yes. Ecumenical. I thought of the word. Remember when we were having that conversation?
Ecumenical.
Yes. Is it going to be like Don't Worry Wednesday or Double Cup of Joe show? I don't know.
We don't know yet.
We don't know. We don't know if it'll be
That's
live.
We definitely have to talk about.
Yep. But we'll figure it all out. And there's going to be some things happening. The funny thing is, Kyle told me he kind of handles the finances for our company, and so he told me, he's like, Joe, you need to take 2 weeks off. When you're done with your inspections job, you need to take 2 weeks off. And then after he told me that, he and Ryan were talking. I don't think Joe's going to take 2 weeks off. How long do you think he'll last before he starts working?
Yeah. Not even a day.
Not even a day. Not even. I'm
Not
like,
even
I
a
get
day.
myself halfway through Monday before I start tinkering with something,
Yeah.
because I don't know. There's so much that we want to get done. There's so much we want to actually provide for you guys, We love you guys. We love this community, and we just want to do what we can to spend time with you, to provide something of value, and do what we can. And that makes me excited.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes. So, in essence, in light of all that, doing an inspection isn't all that much of a priority for me anymore. I'm just like, yeah, I already put in my notice. They know I'm going to be done. What are they going to do?
Mhm.
If I don't get this inspection done, are they going to fire me? Cool. That just puts me out ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Right? So it's fun. But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, you like the Double Cup of Joe show format as an alternate to Don't Worry Wednesdays format? I like all the formats.
That would be one wild show.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that too. I'm looking forward to who we're doing it with as well, because, if
Mhm.
we're talking like bringing on other people of different walks of life to talk about some of this stuff, this could get to be really, really fun then,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
We're going to have fun. But either way, that's probably going to do it for this show.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, guys. Sleep. That's tricky. Yeah, I understand. Sleep can be difficult, especially when your life's full of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yep. Thank you guys so much for being here on Don't Worry Wednesday. Again, this is about you guys. If you have a topic for us, feel free to send us
Thanks,
an
Penny.
email, dww@bss.studio. Put it on our website, bss.studio. Send us something on Discord. Yes, thank you, Penny. It was fun. I had a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
It was a good time.
Yep. And yeah, so you can reach us any of those places with a topic. Otherwise, come back and hear what we talk about next week. If we have a topic or not, we'll talk about something.
Yeah.
It'll probably be a
Well,
lot
we've
more
got-
coherent because Ryan will be the host.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
I'm going to sabotage the episode next time. But don't tell anybody. It won't
I
be
won't.
very good sabotagery if
I
I
won't.
tell. So don't tell anybody. But so just keep it on the hush. You guys can know, but don't tell.
Oh yeah, don't
so
tell
that
anybody.
It'll
He's
be
gonna
really nice.
he's gonna
Really nice
sabotage the
sabotaging.
show.
Joe, I can hear you.
You can't hear me.
Oh, okay.
Thank you all. We couldn't have the show without your wonderful support.
That's
Guess that makes
absolutely
sense.
true. Princess, you are so right. We couldn't have this show without you guys and your support. So, yeah, if you want to send us money, do it.
Too bad.
But anyway, yeah. So next week on Wednesday, we'll see you right here on the show we do on Wednesdays, which is Don't Worry Wednesday. Until then,
Nailed it.
have a great bunch of Wednesdays between now and then. It'll be good. I don't
Do
know
it.
where I'm going. Do it.
Do it. I
Just
don't care if it's. I don't care if it defies reality. Do it. That's your homework, guys. Have a bunch of Wednesdays between now and next Wednesday.
And don't worry, because
And
you
don't
don't
worry
worry
about
on
it.
Wednesdays. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be
If you
great.
fail at that, it's okay. Everybody else did too. Don't
Right.
worry about it.
Yes. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Take care.